I personally wouldn't be surprised if Jake and Kendrick are actually friends. Because when we look at what happened, right? The beef, everybody say Kendrick this Drake certain way and him embarrass Drake. But in reality, this beef has created the most commercial success for the two artists with them seen in them whole career. When we look, Kendrick get one of his biggest songs and one of the biggest spotlights he's ever had. And Drake right now break Billboard record, break Michael Jackson record, 3 album in the top of Billboard. That just tell us it. And the two of them are on the same label. They're on the same label, so they're playing for the same team. They're making the same people money. What them do is them drain the energy from the industry and force the industry to focus on just the two of them. Because right now, the industry is just completely focused on Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Because you cannot mention one without mentioning the other. Even now when we hear about Drake album, people always mentioning Kendrick. And when Kendrick at this Drake, he's mentioning Drake because he's dissing Drake. So the two of them, they absorb the entire conversation around rap by doing this beef. And it's not the first time in history where beef propel artists to the top of the game. Even though these two men were arguably, well not arguably, Drake was at the top and Kendrick was around there, one of the top rappers. So this beef is a great thing for both men. Even though from the outside, a man that doesn't understand the business might look and say, Kendrick, I try to mash up the guy reputation, but beef always good for business. Beef is always good for business. You look, you see Tupac, Biggie beef. That's one of the greatest thing in them career. One of the greatest thing in the two of them career was that beef. And it happened in many music industry. You look at dancehall, you have Vibes Cartel in beef with Mavado. You have Bounty Killer, he beef with Beanie Man. So, and that's how you create giants. When the guys who are arguably at the top, them beef with each other, them absorb the space. You can't focus on any other artist. Any other artist just get cast to the wayside. Because they can't get no oxygen for burn their fire. And right now, that Kendrick and Drake do. And for the rest of them, for the rest of their careers, they're gonna be tied together like this. That's why you have to understand who you're gonna beef with. Nobody cannot look at this beef and say Drake is a loser in the beef, because you can see the success that he's having after the beef. Nobody did not lose this beef. The two men are winners. They are winners. Them use the beef and construct them thing to a greater level. To a greater level. I wouldn't be surprised if they planned it in a boardroom. If the two of them met up and talked and said, yo, let's really get at this. Let's really get at this. Let's really get at this. That's all, because you look, two of them signed to UMG. UMG, the two of them signed to. So what I tell you, somebody in the back room, in the boardroom making decisions, maybe somebody higher than even them tell them say them have to beef.